Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the MOBIUZ Challenger Cup season number 5. Oh, I hope you're all well. Hopefully you're all excited. We had a qualifying week last week where we did indeed find 32 drivers to join our pros and to indeed join our content creators. And well, tonight is the final. It is the final chance to win those prizes. My name is Actroll Vision, aka Luke Crane. I want you to all spam in the chat right now. Who is going to win this race? Who are you excited to watch? And well, maybe just spam some hype. Welcome, one and all. As I said earlier, we had 2 semi-finals last week. 16 drivers from each qualified for today's final. Oh, yes, absolutely. Today's final has got 28 drivers. It should have been 36, but a few people, unfortunately, just couldn't make it. And well, the drivers who qualified from last week can win themselves some prizes. First place can win 3 times MOBIUZ EX3210R curved gaming monitors. Second place will win 1 times MOBIUZ EX3415R curved sim racing monitor. Third place will win 1 times MOBIUZ EX3210R curved gaming monitor. And performance of the finals. This could be, I'm going to need your help. So everybody watching right now in the broadcast, I'm going to need you to help me with this, because this is going to be me and you deciding about someone maybe who didn't have the best of starts, who qualified poorly, or someone who just produces the best overtakes, someone who entertains us the most. We will be voting for them, and that indeed they will win the MOBIUZ EX3210R curved gaming monitor. We're looking for a 5th champion. We have indeed had previous winners such as Kenny Hansen on PlayStation 4 when we did GT Sport back a couple of years ago. The Dane picked up the first season championship. BenQ from Slovakia won season 2 on Race Room. And then we had the German of Andre Franco and the Italian of Giorgio Simonini win the last 2 seasons on ACC. This time out, we are indeed on iRacing. Shall we indeed check out our pro drivers? None of these drivers can win the championship. They are here to indeed, well, showcase their skills. We've got a lot of Heike fans, of course. We've got Thomas Amoros racing tonight, Alan Bowes, Blake Reynolds, and Andre Butcher. Those drivers are racing this evening. And well, Xavier Sanchez is the only content creator able to make it this evening. Unfortunately, personal issues for Malone. Well, Malone's to do with work, and Tyson Mayer, unfortunately, due to personal reasons, cannot attend today's event. He was incredible to watch last week. Again, a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. And well, now we're going to go to the final here, and we are going to check out the drivers that we will be watching. So these are your qualified drivers. These are the drivers that can indeed win all of the prizes. We have got ourselves Fernando Alcalaya. We've got Adam Sharif, Nacho Gaspar. We've got Chris Pisuk. We've got Marcos Dominguez, we've got David Perez, Dominic Plona, James Lee, Tyson Mayer, Dan Bull, Den Carter, Alex Everett, Carlos Moreira de la Chica, we've got Tom Vielputz, Daniel Sedgley, Jose Garcia, Paul Kisik, Patrick Verboe, Rico Zarelli, Ezekiel Rodriguez Taralba, we've got Gergely Kunjabo, Matthias Lujak, we've got Ollie Peters, Jacob Maciejewski, we've got Matthias Kolomansky, Xavier Sanchez, Daniel Skok, Alvaro Diaz Nieto, Victor Labato, Patrick Sipos, Gabriele Migliavaccia, and Yanni Koppinen. Before we head then to the track, let's hear from MOBIUZ and show you some of the prizes that these drivers can indeed win. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen. We're out on circuit here. We're actually with Andre Butcher, who is the Williams esports driver. Let's indeed have a look at our livery slides. So you can pick your favorite driver, and indeed you can pick your favorite nationality. Let me know in the chat who you are indeed supporting. Please. Absolutely. Would be great to hear from you all. And well, it was Andre Butcher, the Williams esports driver, who was the fastest in free practice, only by 600ths of a second, but expecting him to have some serious pace once again. We'll stay on board with him momentarily, but they have 4 laps here to get their best lap time in. They're all out on circuit on their own, so they can't slipstream anybody. It is all about them versus the circuit. Fleet from Finland, good to see you. Again, everybody in the chat right now, let me know where you're watching from around the world. It would be super, super appreciated. But will Andre Butcher be able to take provisional pole here? Will he be able to take pole at all? We've got one long formation lap as well before we do indeed have a 2-hour-long race. 2 hours around Daytona. It is going to be absolutely breathless. We're excited. Geoda is from Norway. Good to see you, matey. You all good? Watching from France. Nice one, Patel. Welcome. Again, make sure you hit that follow button as well. It would be appreciated. As we head then through the bus stop chicane. And it is Maciejewski then who takes provisional pole by 7 thousandths of a second to Maciej Lujak. Patrick Verboe then is 3/10 further back. 3 Polish drivers then. Actually 4 Polish drivers, your top 4. And then Alan Bowes, our McLaren Shadow driver from the eNASCAR series, puts it up into a top 3. Not bad for an oval driver. I guess they are home from home here. It is the road circuit, but it's still Daytona nevertheless. As you can see here, trying to find any advantage possible. Goes down low to underneath that yellow line. And, well, that is going to be P4. And into the pits to get a fresh set of rubber onto the tyres. And as it stands then, it is Maciejewski, who's the driver to beat in the Audi. Maciej Lujak then, teammate in Carbon Esports. And remember, they cannot work together. Ultimately, they're naturally going to be slipstreaming each other. That's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, in terms of slowing other drivers down to help each other, that is not allowed. Alan Bowes then into the pit, straight back out. Butcher then is P4. So Alan Bowes and Butcher, the 2 pros, are in the second row of the grid. As it stands, then we've got Verboe and Blake Reynolds and Thomas Amoros. So Blake Reynolds and Thomas Amoros will start side by side as it stands as well. And we've got 20 drivers who have got lap times in so far. Xavier Sanchez, what's he gone for this time? Pokemon livery. There we go. Is that a Rybone? Is that what he called? Cubone, right? Sorry, not Rybone. Cubone. He's got a Cubone on the side of his car. Representing the Heike community, Xavier Sanchez. So there's your boy. Everyone gets excited in the chat. The number 30. He'll be one of the favourites today. Not particularly for pace. He's obviously a very quick driver, but he'll definitely be one of the favourites within the audience watching at home. A very lovely, lovely chap. Nacho Gaspar up into P4 in a number 88. So P4 then, and Nacho Gaspar last week was probably the only erratic driver. He's someone that if there's an opportunity to make an overtake, he's taking it, regardless of how much time it's going to lose him. So yeah, definitely someone for everybody else to be watching out for. I didn't really see that kind of driving style from anybody else. But yeah, Nacho Gaspar then is P4 as it stands. Mr. Speed, welcome. Barbajiero. Feels good, man, as well. Mikolau? But it is Maciejewski still P1 as it stands. 7 thousandths clear of Matthias Lucia. Carlos Moreira de la Chica, probably the best name in the session. Is there a better name than Carlos Moreira de la Chica in the session? I'm pretty sure there isn't. He goes up to P13. He's just improved in his time. Currently 1.1 second off of the pace. So about 1.1 seconds to find. Everybody's out on their final couple of laps now with only 3 minutes left of the session. And we are very, very close then to the formation lap. So let me know where you're watching from around the world. As Chris Kisik goes up to P21. Ollie Peters up to P23. Qualifying is not the biggest factor here, though, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you can get a nice clean start, have 0 damage to the car, you could be P30 and you could make your way through the pack here. As long as everybody else is clever about it. Daniel Sedgley moves up 1 position. He moves up to P14 as he comes through turn number 1. As David Perez then has taken provisional pole. 0.08 of a second clear of Jacob Maciejewski. And David Perez then, who, again, looks so quick last week at Spa, but made a mistake. He's in Lightning McQueen's number 95. Not many fleet, no, there's two Porsches, I think. Patrick Verboe moves up into P5. Javian supporting Xavier Sanchez. Welcome, Javian. Baba Hierro from Spain, nice. Mr. Speeds from the UK. Welcome. Welcome to the broadcast, you beautiful people. Who's going to be the MOBIUZ Challenger Cup Season 5 champion? Well, David Perez has put himself in a very good spot here to potentially be that champion. Top 3 separated by 900ths of a second. Gurgly Kanjabo, the only AMGA, the only AMG with that mad pan delivery, will indeed take P15. And that will be qualifying over then for Gurgly. Alan Bowes is on his final attempt. Not sure he's going to be able to finish this lap, you know. Be close. It'll be very, very close, actually. Maybe he will. Yanni Koppinen was up on their time. Was up purple. This is going to be a very good lap time indeed for Koppinen. This could potentially be a time that is almost even with P1. David Perez is the driver to beat as it stands. Koppinen's flashing the lights there as if to say he knows he's on camera, but this is a good time. This is a really good time. But how close is it to potential pole? And he must have won X somewhere because it hasn't quite updated, or are we going to see it update now? Yanni Koppinen does not improve then. Matthias Lujak into the pits. That's going to be them done for qualifying. We've got 34 seconds to go. Anybody else on a lap time? Carlos Moreira de la Chica is on a lap time here. Paul Kisik started from the back. Was that you deciding that, or is that you not getting a lap time in there? That's the big question. Good luck to you, though. Hopefully you have fun. That's what it's all about, these events. Just about having some fun, ultimately. And as we head towards the end of qualifying, De La Chica starts P14, we think. Perez is done. Jacob Maciejewski's done. It's going to be David Perez on pole position. And, well, just before they do indeed go off onto the grid and do their formation lap, let's check out the ad from MOBIUZ. So here we are then, ladies and gentle cars. Oh, I am pretty excited for this one. Waiting for them all to grid up. 28 cars then. 2 hours of racing here at Daytona Road Course. Welcome, Theo Uverhouse. How you doing? If you don't know who Theo is, he is a DTM trophy driver from this season and got his first win this season as well. 16 years old, an absolute superstar in the making. And, well, maybe we'll see you racing in some sim racing, Theo, soon. Who knows? Fleet there with the good luck to everybody. Good to see the good lucks from everybody. Good luck to everybody racing. 2 hours of racing. It all comes down to this. Who is going to become our Season 5 champion? It's going to be a long run for these drivers. It's going to be a long run for me commentating as well. But ultimately, we are here for a bit of fun, for a bit of entertainment, for all of you sat down. So make sure you've got your drinks. Make sure you've got those snacks. Whew, this is going to be a sensational race, I can assure you here. Pacing, here we go. Through the bus stop we will come. It will be David Perez that will take us away in that white, it's very Halloween livery, isn't it, in that Audi. You've got a lot of carbon esports drivers near the front end here. But it will be Perez. He will take us away in towards turn number 1. We just hope for a nice clean start for the first few races, or the first few laps, should I say. pace car will pull in, and then it goes to David Perez. As we go blimp cam then, get a proper look at the start here. David Perez and Maciej Juski are your front row. Then we've got Matthias Luszak and Alan Bowes. Alan Bowes, the first of our pro drivers. Andre Botcher in 7th position. Blake Reynolds and Thomas Amoros in 9th and 10th. David Perez then will take us away here, and he is gone. It's green light racing here then at Daytona as the big building is in the way, down in towards turn number 1. Well, is it going to be nice and clean? It is. Perez then gets a fantastic run into turn number 1 and actually leaves the door wide open here. And well, it is going to be Matthias Luszak who takes the lead. So Luszak takes the lead of this race here. We've got all sorts of action happening a bit further back. Everyone gets through relatively well as it stands. We've got oh no, there's big contact here. Blake Reynolds is going to come back across circuit. Oh, a couple of cars have had a big moment there. And oh, I think there's 4 or 5, potentially going to be 6 cars that might not even be in this race anymore. Let's go check out the session events here. There's a big crash. So it's Fernando Alcachea. Let's check it out a bit further back here. Oh, it's very unfortunate, to say the very least. Oh, he just grabs too much curb there. And oh, I think Blake Reynolds has moved over when the car was on his inside, unfortunately. And it wasn't Blake Reynolds at all, was it? I think Blake's good. Blake is all good here. Yeah, I think Blake is all good here, actually. So I've got to figure out who that was. It's Alan Bowes. Yeah, Blake Reynolds is P6. So there is the move being made for P6. And he's in a good spot here. So yeah, that was I'm not too sure who that was in the Lamborghini. James Lee was involved. Yeah, that's a bad one. So yeah, it was actually the number 57. So it's Alvaro Diaz. So Alvaro Diaz, it was Daniel Scott that made the mistake. So Daniel Scott just got onto the curb and just lost the rear of the car. Gergely Kunjaba is gone already. Carlos de la Chica was involved as well. Thomas Amoros, I'm not sure. Oh, okay, so Thomas Amoros not having a good time here as one of the pro drivers. Dennis Carter, there's the top 22 are as they were. But let's go back and forth with Alan Bowes then. As Alan Bowes has made it up into, he momentarily was P4. He's side by side here then with Nacho Gazbar. Nacho Gazbar is not a driver that likes to give up positions, that's for sure. And ultimately, this is going to cost them moving forward in this race. So there's one driver has caught the curb and ultimately cost about 5 drivers their race, unfortunately. And again, that's just the nature of the beast there, isn't it? Alvaro Diaz has not done that on purpose. But yeah, a few drivers have been involved in that. But as it stands then, Luszak is in P1, David Perez P2, Jacob Maciejewski in P3, Alan Bowes, Nacho Gazbar, Blake Reynolds, actually top 6, Patrick Verboe, Andre Butcher, and then we've got Yanni Koppinen and Alex Everett as your top 10. Wiley, cheers bud, how you doing mate? So yeah, not the greatest of starts unfortunately for a few drivers. Let's check out Carlos Moreira de la Chica. It's not back out yet. Thomas Amoros is coming into the pits. And again, well, I don't know whether he's got damage to the car or whether he's involved in it. I didn't see his car involved. Definitely Jose Garcia Gonzalez was involved in it. But looks like there's not too much damage to the car. Ezequiel Rodriguez Toralba, he went off the circuit, but looks like he's got no damage, so he's all good. And then we've got Dennis Carter, who's all good, 20th position. Marcos Dominguez just a little bit further off of Chris Pisuk. Pisuk's then behind Plona. We've then got Alcalea. We've got Paul Kisik. Paul Kisik didn't qualify, ladies and gentlemen. He's currently P15. So what a choice that was from him. Looks like we've got Maciej Kolomansky with a bit of damage to the front of his car. Xavier Sanchez up to P13 in behind Ollie Peters. Then in behind Ollie Peters, or in behind Daniel Sedgley. As we've got some 2x2 action just up ahead here of Yanni Koppinen and Alex Everett. These two need to work together and try and catch up to that group in front. They really don't want to be dropping off the pace here. And they're almost in a position now. They're almost in a position now where they're going to lose that group of cars and their race could potentially be over. So the front 8 are very close indeed. Can Alex Everett and Yanni Koppinen just work together just to make sure they're on the back of that lead group? The leaders then, as it stands, is Matthias Luszak and David Perez. Oh no, David Perez is not P2, P3 now. He has dropped down to P3, so the move was done into turn number 1. And then they've got behind them Nacho Gaspar, Alan Bowes, Blake Reynolds, Andre Butcher, and Patrick Verboe. So right now then, Blake Reynolds, Alan Bowes, Andre Butcher are 3 of the pros are all right next to each other. Unfortunately, Amoros though is into the pits, which is a bit of a shame. But the front drivers are, well, very much close here. So we're going to check out Carlos Herrera de la Chica. There's been a crash here. It wasn't that one. I think it's this one? Okay. Wasn't that one. Oh. So let's check how that's gone down for Carlos here. No, he's just lost it. He's just got power too early, hasn't he? So back up to the leaders then, and they're relatively close as it stands. As it starts to get nice and dark here, we're going to be under lights for the entirety of this race. It looks like Daniel Sedgley has managed to get onto the back of this. Yes, he has. So Daniel Sedgley now has got onto the back of this pack with Everett and Andy Koppanen. Again, they've got to work together. They've got to try and get onto the back of that front 8 here, really. Because ultimately, if they keep messing around and buggering about, it means that they just won't be with a chance of winning. You can see that Xavier Sanchez is also in that bracket here, kind of needs to get involved and try and catch onto the back of that pack so he doesn't lose out too much. Nacho Gaspar then is kind of a little bit astray here from David Perez. The setup we're using here, though, the rear wing is so high that it punches such a huge hole that you get slipstream from quite far back. So definitely, definitely an opportunity for cars. As Nacho Gaspar runs off circuit, comes back on, and he is going to lose out to Alan Bowes. I think Alan Bowes is going to pretty easily get one as a freebie up the inside. Nacho Gaspar then is not going to be able to get ahead of Blake Reynolds here. Blake Reynolds has got the slipstream as well. Gaspar is going to lose a couple of spots here. One mistake through the bus stop chicane. They have 20 incident points before they will indeed have to serve a drive-through. 30 incident points and their race is indeed over. If you would like to see the products that these drivers are looking to win today, type MOBIUZ in the chat. Andre Butcher is coming through as well as they all close up here. Very close indeed. Verboe was not expecting them to break that harshly, I don't think. But that was nearly a clean-out central. And this is perfect now for Alex Everett. So if we can check it out from his Forza cam, you can see here that they've just ever so slightly got closer to him, but he needs a couple of drivers to start making mistakes in front of him realistically, and he needs them all to drag out maybe a couple of tenths between each car, and that way he can catch up to the back of this pack here. But the only way he does it is if they fight in front. But if he starts to lose out on that group of 8, it becomes very impossible for him to go out and win this race. Daniel Sedgley just sticking around here. Again, if they can just catch up to that pack, we have an 11-car race for the lead. And Xavier Sanchez, again, needs the same from the group in front of him. So not all is not lost here. They also will have to pit, I believe, twice. So it will probably be a 2 pit stop strategy. Some drivers may be able to do 1. If we look at the 2 leaders here, Maciejewski will not make the overtake here on Lujac. They are teammates as well. They're naturally in P1 and P2. But Maciejewski will be saving fuel, that is for sure. Oh yes, Fleet, this is going to be a very interesting race to say the very least, isn't it? And are we going to see a change of position here? This is perfect, isn't it? Being P1, wow, they're just bump drafting. Again, you know, they've been told that they're not allowed to work as a team in terms of slowing other drivers down, but, you know, when you're naturally P1 and P2, if you've got someone that you're comfortable with behind you or in front of you to bump draft, ultimately a teammate's the perfect situation to be in, right? Andre Butcher's just lost out then to, Blake Reynolds just lost out to Andre Butcher. So Andre then, of course, who was fastest in practice, looking to go and chase down this front 3, although he runs a little bit wide then through turn number 3, or turn number 4, should I say. And they're starting to lose touch with the group in front, unfortunately. So it's not taken too long, but they are starting to lose touch here. Blake Reynolds just in behind that group as well. You can see that Patrick Verboe's going for a move up the inside here. And the door has to be left open. This is just dangerous again, really. You don't really want to be costing anyone in front of you too much time. You want to be, I guess, more of a tactical race around this circuit. But as it stands, the front three have got away. Havana, how you doing, mate? So Carlos, Alvaro, Alvaro, Diaz. Carlos Moreira de la Chica for rear-ending Thomas Amoros is just going to receive a 30-second stop-go penalty. So that's his race pretty much over. But yeah, 30-second stop-go penalty has just been handed out then to Carlos. So Carlos Moreira de la Chica has been given a stop-go 30 penalty for causing a collision with Thomas Amoros. We head then through turn number 1. And now they're kind of about 2.9 seconds, 3 seconds off the leader of this race. So now it's become a group of 3 and a group of 5. And as it stands then, Lujak, Maciejewski and Perez are all going to get themselves the prizes. They're going to be the top 3. As Carlos Moreira de la Chica, as you can see on your screen, is into the pits then. He will have to serve this 30-second stop-go penalty. So yeah, we will be handing out penalties during this race for any potential or any contact that was avoidable. So if anything is to go by from last week, the racing was incredible. Sedgley, I tell you what, Xavier Sanchez is starting to close up here, isn't he? Again, if we check it out from Fortocam, you just see James Lee has just overtaken Carlos Moreira de la Chica. You can see that these 3 are just not really catching up to the group of 5 up ahead. The pit stop phase is going to be amazing here because they've all got the same fuel tank size. It's going to be about who's got the most bottle in terms of stopping late. Although Sedgley here is saving fuel. I think he just turned his engine off. We're going to stay on board with this. But I think you'll find here that Sedgley has just turned his engine off and then restarted it, which is an endurance strategy in iRacing. We've done it many a time with our team Woo, as the leaders are potentially changing position here. Looks like nothing happened. Daniel Sedgley's happy to stay behind. Yep. Yep, he turned the engine off. So he really is trying to save fuel here at Daytona. And he gets very close to Koppinen. Perez still sticking in and around what is P3. And these 3, they're not going to really start battling until the end of this race, I don't think. Right now, if they can keep eking out the 0.2 of a second on the group behind like they are, there's every reason to suggest that these 3 Audis are going to push themselves into an unassailable lead. Nacho Gaspar then is on the back of this train here. So he's got Andre Butcher, who was leading actually, he's not anymore. So Alan Bowes is ahead of Butcher? No, Butcher is ahead of Alan Bowes, then Blake Reynolds. Yes, so you can see that Butcher is now starting to potentially close down on the leaders. Seems like he's had a good couple of laps here. Here is Butcher then. He's the leader of the group of 5, the second group. And right now he needs to put in some absolute flying laps and needs to play leapfrog effectively with the cars behind, or maybe a bit of bump drafting himself. The front 3, the one thing that they're not doing is they're not changing position. Carlos Moreira de la Chica is back out. I think. No, he's not. He's done. He's in the pits, I think. Yeah, I think he might be done, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go on board then for a lap here with Andre Butcher, our Williams esports driver. So he comes through turn number 4, grabs a load of curb on entry, runs out as wide as he possibly can, meaning he can get on the power as early as possible. And actually, he's starting to catch up to the group of 3 in front. He was 3.8 seconds behind in the previous lap, and now he is absolutely flying here. So we head up towards the first of the 2 horseshoes at the back end of the infield section. Again, on the power nice and early. Is he within slipstream range of the group in front, though? I'm not sure he is. So the one thing he definitely isn't doing is saving fuel. He'll be going absolutely flat out here. Will he be just about grabbing a toe? As he came onto the oval section, he was 3.6 seconds behind. If we see that starting to close down, once he gets around this corner here, might be the case that he's just grabbing a little bit of a toe here. But I think he needs to be pushed. He is grabbing a little bit of a toe, actually. But unfortunately, it wasn't taking effect. It wasn't taking effect until a little bit too late, unfortunately. As you can see, the time is coming down. He got a really good exit through the bus stop, but it was ultimately due to 1X. Alan Bowes here, NASCAR driver. Will he potentially be able to bump draft Butcher towards the leader? I don't think he's going to get quite close enough here. And he then pulls out of the slipstream, which means he's not going to make the move. Off the gas. Just playing a very clever game here. I think he realises that Andre is absolutely flying. And if there's a chance of him catching up to the leaders and staying behind him. So there was a lap on board. It was nice to look at them on board, right? And this group of 5 cars then, say they're not losing a hell of a lot of time now to the group of 3 in front. The group of 3 have been able to do things their own way, haven't they? What about the group behind then? So Alex Everett leads this group. Xavier Sanchez still not able to just catch up to the back of his pack. Dominic Stabe, this is it actually is all dependent on the setup drivers use, and the medium endurance setup specifically punches a big hole in the air, so the draft works a little bit more from a little bit further back, just to let you know. Yeah, Havana, this is a perfect track, isn't it? It's one of the most famed endurance circuits there is, realistically, with the Daytona 24-hour. May or may not have won that last year with Team Woo. In January, we'll be looking to try and do the same again. Through the bus stop they come once again, and yeah, Butcher's for sure losing time now to the front 3. So the pit stop phase is really going to be where it sorts everything out. Let's go a little bit further back. Then Xavier Sanchez, then P12, not able to catch up. Dominic Plona is ahead of Matthias Kolomansky. We've then got Fernando Alcalaya in 15th, Paul Kisik 16th, who's actually now battling with Alcalaya. Who's he battling with, actually? So it's a back marker, isn't it, for Paul Kisik? Kisik's going to indeed get the slipstream here, though. Should relatively easily get the move done. He'll be really hoping for the 57 to pull up the high side here, make it easy. But ultimately, he's going to be forced to go all the way around the outside. This is, of course, a lapped vehicle. We'll have to let the driver go by. He leaves the door open on the inside. And well, he doesn't. So it feels like he's got the pace to compete here. If Kisik feels like he's being held up, he's got every right to be flashing. Thomas Amoros makes a move then on Ezequiel Rodriguez Torralba. So fair play to Amoros. He stuck around. And he's managed to make an overtake up to P22 then for him. There's only so much draft there could be, Havana. And there's only so much your engine could do as well. Your car can only go so fast, right? But yeah, if, for instance, if you're P3 of a group of 2, you're going to get a double toe, so you will be faster. But as soon as you pull out of that whole opening hole in the air, you just hit a big wall of air and it slows you down a bit quicker. So yeah, you can. That's why they call a slingshot. So that's why you try and use a second car to overtake a first car, if that makes sense. Yeah, the car can only go so fast. To Carlos Moreira de Lashika still in the pits then. James Lee is the final driver of our 25 left. 28 drivers started. Check out Andre Butcher. Butcher then. Jacob Matthews. What's happened to him? He's in. Oh, he's in the lead of the race then. What's happened to David Perez? Sorry, what's happened to Lujak? So Lujak now P3. So what's happened here then? Has there been any contact or something? Oh, Dennis Carter crashed. Lujak has just got an off-track here. Do you know what? I think it's an off-track. So he was leading comfortably. He's got a slow-down penalty for the off-track here. Yeah, he's got a slowdown. So that's what's happened here. So he's had to give up 2 positions. And has he lost the slipstream, though? So there you go. One mistake, and it's very easy to do, and you can lose out. So Lujak now P3, but the big factor here is he's bridged the gap to Butcher. So Butcher then potentially has the slipstream, and that could drag this 4 cars behind. It's starting to get a little bit interesting. It is starting to get a little bit more interesting here. And I feel that one mistake then from Lujak could potentially have brought in Andre Butcher. So we will indeed keep an eye on that. Xavier Sanchez, has he caught back onto the back of Sedgley? No, he has not. But again, he's one mistake away. You know, these drivers are one mistake away from bringing other drivers into play. It's so difficult to drive away around this circuit, especially when you're in the lead pack. So you're all trying to do exactly the same thing. And when it comes to like a big endurance race, sometimes it can take 2 or 3 pit stop phases. But you will see at the pit stop phase that this will open up. There'll be drivers that will, you can see here, David Perez is not trying to go ahead. He will bump draft, I would imagine, here. These are not teammates, and actually, he's not getting close enough to create the contact. So not being a teammate is, yeah, definitely, he's decided not to get involved in that way. But right now, you know that Lujak is going to try and get up to P2 as soon as he possibly can. David Perez being in P2 right now is kind of helping the group behind. This just got very spicy indeed. Hopefully you're all excited in the chat. Get yourselves involved. Type the word MOBIUZ in the chat as well, please, if you want to check out what prizes these drivers can win. And yeah, let me know where you're watching from around the world. Let's proper get involved here, shall we? Let's all have a bit of fun. So still then, it is Maciejewski leading the way. 4 tenths separates him and David Perez. Perez then ahead of Lujak. I think Lujak will want to be in P2 again so he can work with his teammate. So I'll be very surprised if he doesn't make this move. Butcher then is about 3 seconds off. Oh, Lujak then trying to save fuel as well now by turning off his engine. And well, he wasn't able to do that when he was in the lead of this race. So ultimately, he's now got to play a little bit of catch-up. Cheers, Godzone. Appreciate the effort, mate. Hope you're well, dude. Welcome to the broadcast. So again, letting off the gas hugely here. And they're all just slowing down into turn number 1. But again, with the slipstream being as huge a factor as this, look at it's so easy just to catch back up. But one driver who cannot do this is this driver here. He cannot turn the engine off. He has to use this to try and catch up to the back of these drivers in front. So is this the opening he needs? Is this the opening he needs? Let's go to chase cam for a couple of laps here. He's flying, by the way. He is going to catch them up. If they continue to keep letting off or turning off the engine to slow down, or to save fuel, should I say, he will catch up in the next 3 or 4 laps, but you can see he is on the limit of the car and wants to get involved. Yeah, Havana, but it's not really something I've seen it done in real life. It's more done like at circuits such as, like, I don't know, like Monza, I guess. But like it's really dangerous to do because obviously if it doesn't restart again, you're buggered. So yeah, it's a tough one. But yeah, it has been done in real life. but it's not as simple as it is as simple as pressing a button. But IRL, you've got to hope it works again. You know it's guaranteed to work in sim racing because it is just simply a button. But it has been done. Shave for sure. We've seen in our endurance races, haven't we, that drivers are able to save a couple of laps of fuel. I think if they save 1 lap of fuel here, it would be worth it, right? As they cross the line, 2.7 seconds. The front 3 are close here. I think they're going to need... Oh, using the grass there on the inside to turn the car. You're bloody good when you're able to do that, though. Actually use the grass to turn the car. Like, that'd be me in a wall. So it looks like we've had Jose Garcia Gonzalo crash the car. So coming in towards turn number 1. I'm just going in there very slowly. So I'm not too sure what's happened there. Dennis Carter's had a prang. Oh, no, he's, I don't think, no longer in the race. Ezekiel Tarolba's driving slowly, and that is a... Oh, we've all done that. I've done that many a time. Many a time. Thomas Amoros just made a move. There we go. So he's moved up to P21. Amoros having, again, not a good race because of the misfortune that he suffered early in this race, but ultimately he is battling, and this is why he's an esports pro, guys, because he just doesn't stop. Lushak has just got himself a 1X here, so we're about to see what the 1X was for. And has he made a mistake here then, where he's run wide? Shutting off the engine again. Where's the 1X here then? Oh, he's trying to turn the engine off there as well. I just think that's a high risk, it's high risk, high reward. New fastest lap, by the way, Nacho Gaspar. He's just done the fastest lap of the race. At this stage of the race, that's pretty impressive stuff. Jacob Maciejewski then still leads the race. So let's have a look at the start positions then. Where these drivers did he need to start the race? So Jacob Maciejewski started in P2. With David Perez then, who started in P1, he's dropped 1 position. Matthias Lushak started P3, he's in P3. Butcher, by the way, 7th up to 4th. Alan Bowes started in P4. If you can see at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, that is indeed where we're seeing where they started. He's down 1 position. We've got Blake Reynolds then, started 9th, he's up to 6th. Patrick Verboe then started P5, down to P7. Nacho Gaspar started P6, he's down to P8. Again, it had a very excitable start to this race, but has settled in nicely. Alex Everett then started in P13 up to P9. Yanni Koppanen started in P11, he's up to P10. Sedgley started in P16, he's up to 11th. Sanchez started P21, he's up to P12. Biggest mover though, I think, is Kisik. 28th up to 16th, 12 positions gained for Paul Kisik. What a drive so far. And for me, it is performance of the championship, performance of the day so far. I'm sure we're going to see some more excitement during this race, but as it stands, he would be getting my vote. Back up to the last lap then. The front 3 now, well, it's 2.5 seconds. So again, Andre Butcher, the Williams esports driver, is for sure closing in. We've had a look at Andre Butcher. Let's look at Alan Bowes then, shall we? And have a little look at him from his cockpit cam. And we're going to have a look across this whole race of all of our pro drivers. So we had a look at Andre Butcher. Now let's go on board then with our McLaren Shadow esports driver, NASCAR driver, Alan Bowes. So want to power nice and early at the horseshoe, onto the oval section, and they are very much closing in on the front 3. We're going to have an 8-car battle for the lead very closely. Yep, agreed with that, Fleet. So towards that bus stop chicane we will come. Again, you can see there's no pressing here to potentially make an overtake. You've got to be careful hitting the grass there on the exit. That's where you indeed do receive incident points. As it stands, the most incident points here is Chris Kisik, who's on 9. We've also got Jose Garcia Gonzalez on 9. If you get 20, you've got to serve a drive-through penalty. So are they catching up, though, to the leaders? I think they just about are. And I think David Perez is about to go up into the lead here. Again. Andre Butcher is intentionally hitting the grass on that inside to get the car rotated. That is the difference between being very good and being incredibly good. Just finding those little nuances on a race circuit. The gap now is 1.9 seconds, so again, with the setups they're using, they're all using medium downforce. You're looking at around about 1.5 seconds and they're going to be directly in that tow. So if you can gain a few more tenths of a second, you are going to see these drivers very much close up. So there's a lap then on board with Alan Bowes. We will check out Blake Reynolds and we will check out Thomas Amoros as this race goes on. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. So if you're watching on stream right now, who are we supporting? Who do you want to see win this race? Do you have any particular favourites? Is there anyone outside of the pro drivers that you might be supporting? Oh, Havana. So basically, 2 years ago, we were in the Nürburgring 24-hour race, and an Audi that was battling for position with us missed a pit stop. So they missed the pit lane, and obviously you know that the Nordschleife is around about an 8.5-minute lap with the Nürburgring 24-hour race. This driver was cutting off the engine at every downhill, at every opportunity, and we think had half a lap's worth of fuel. Managed to make that half a lap fuel, like he saved half a lap, or he made it last the whole lap, and he managed to get round the Nordschleife. Mind-blowing. Jose Garcia Gonzalez is into the pits then. And is that because of damage, though? That's the big... Yeah, it is. There's a crash here. So Gonzalez into... Oh, it's a tow. Yeah. And... Oh! Into the Bath Rage wall. And that is a tow. Matthias Kolomansky's had a crash here as well, by the looks of things. Oh, yeah, caught the grass. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Chris Pisek's just received another off-track. Kolomansky comes out into P16, so Paul Kisik's moved up one more spot. No damage. Tyres are going to be pretty hot, though. Back up to the leaders. We will go. Alvaro Diaz is he's overtaken Jose Garcia. James Lee still out there, currently P25. The only rookie license in the whole session. Everybody is an A, B, or C. There's no D licenses in this championship. There's only 2 C licenses. Pretty much everyone's A license, to be honest. And James Lee's the only rookie license that managed to qualify through to the final. So, yeah, fair play to him. He's not going to win this race, but, yeah, he for sure has got a lot. He's got a very promising future. Only 16. Might be 17 now. No, he's 16. Maybe 15, actually. Very young driver. Very, very promising future. Cos is supporting Blake and Alcalea. Nice. I like his name, Nacho Gazba. Yeah, it is a pretty cool name. Are we live? No, we're not. I just realised we're not actually live, guys. So there we are. We are live now. But this race has got many trials and tribulations yet to come. That's for sure. And while we do indeed come through turn number 1 and the front 3 stay as they are, we're just going to have a very quick ad break for about a minute. Again, if you would like to see what prizes these drivers are going to win, please type MOBIUZ in the chat. MOBIUZ. Again, without MOBIUZ, we can't put these events on for you to watch. We can't put these events on for the drivers. So, yeah, if you could just go and check out the website link for 5 minutes, that would be very, very much appreciated. Again, big shout out to MOBIUZ. But let's check out what these drivers can win. Welcome back then, one and all. Welcome back to the MOBIUZ Challenger Cup season number 5 finale as we watch David Perez right up and behind Jacob Maciejewski. These three have been leading out for pretty much all of this race, but they are being caught by the group behind. And Blake Reynolds, Alan Bowes and Butcher, they are very much working together now. But the group of 5 cars behind are looking to make this an 8-car race, and actually there's a back marker to contend with now for the front 3. Is this going to be the moment that's going to cost them a load of time here? So is that Alvaro Diaz? No, it's not Alvaro Diaz. Trying to figure out who that is. It's Taralba. So Ezequiel Rodriguez Taralba is in P22 as it stands. And that Ferrari definitely isn't going as fast as the group in front. Oh, hold on. We've got a very, very slow Audi. And Matthias Lujak has had an absolute nightmare here. He drops to the back of the second group of drivers then. And well, let's check out this back marker situation, which I think they're going to clear very, very easily now. But Lujak has dropped back even further, so he's had one mistake, and yeah, he's crashed. So Paul Kisik's crashed as well. Let's check out the Lujak incident here. Oh, why is he slowed down? Oh, he's had a slowdown penalty again, hasn't he? Lujak has had a slowdown penalty. It's twice then during this race. It's very rare to get slowdown penalties in iRacing, but it is a possibility. Alvaro Diaz and Paul Kisik, they've had a crash together here as well. Oh no! Oh, Kisik is... Well, these two weren't battling for position. Paul Kisik was having a great race up until that point. He's just lost it under braking, and oh, he's just tagged the rear and into the back race wall, and that is it. He is being caught, ladies and gentlemen. You're not getting out of that. You are stuck forever. And he has to tow. Marcos Dominguez is now crashed as well. What has happened here? Oh, yeah, that is not good. Is he going to save it from the wall? Oh, he's going to be okay. He is actually going to be okay. Yeah, he won't have too much damage to the car. He would have lost, 10 seconds, 12 seconds, maybe a little bit of performance, and he may have lost a little bit in terms of his ego. But ultimately, he's still alive. Paul Kisik, though, not so much. Really unfortunate then. So there was a bit of a frantic couple of minutes. As Thomas Amoros is now ahead of Dennis Carter. He's up ahead. Dennis Carter as well. He's had a spin now as well. So let's just rewind that while we can. And there we go. And is it going to be a classic on the power too early? It is. All the way around. Bit of oversteer. And that is game over. So up to the leaders then, and look at this. They are now for sure being caught. So the front 2, it was 3, is now 2. Matthias Lujak is P8 as it stands. He was leading this race at one point. So we head then through the bus stop chicane. Paul Kisik now behind James Lee. James Lee just going about his business here, maybe a top 20 in the offering for him. But these two now working together, they're not going to be as fast. The more cars you've got to work with, the quicker you are. And right now, if you're Perez, you maybe have to make a decision about going ahead here. Or he's decided to bump draft here. Again, not teammates, but they are now bump drafting. Both shutting their engine off, which means that Butcher is going to catch up now. It's all about really how much fuel they've managed to save effectively. But look at that group of cars in behind. That is a group of 6 cars. We're going to have an 8-car race at the end here. The last sort of 5 laps is going to be incredible. But the build up towards that is going to be just as good. Lujak then, it's got ahead of Gaspar. He does. He's made the move on Gaspar. See this overtake. So you can see Lujak then sees the door wide open. Gaspar leaves it open. He then tries to defend it, but ultimately it's a little bit too late. Lujak comes through. Gaspar runs wide. Pretty textbook move. It's going to cost them time, but they should catch up. We've got Butcher and Bowes just there side by side here. Again, this is not live. This is from the previous lap, and again, Bowes just deciding, yeah, Butcher, you go through. And 3 of our pros, by the way, Bowes, Butcher, and indeed Reynolds. Those 3 are in, well, right next to each other on circuit, battling for P3, and ultimately looking to close up to the lead of this race. Back to live now, and well, they've actually lost a bit of time now. They have lost a bit of time to the leaders, so the leader is starting to pull out that gap once again. This is going to be fascinating. Buster Beats, keep practicing, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You just keep practicing, my friend. Let's get the livery slides on, shall we? So you can pick your favourite driver who's racing today. So we're heading up towards the halfway point of this race. There's some side-by-side action between teammates here. And Lujak comes through. Almost takes out the Lamborghini, though. So Lujak has passed his teammate, Verboe. And how close is he to taking out that Lamborghini? Nacho Gazbar's trying to follow him through. I think he did in the end, didn't he? Yeah, he did. So Nacho Gazbar has got ahead here as well. And actually, it wasn't as close as I first thought. I got a bit overexcited there for sure. The lead now, what? 1.5 seconds to this second group. As it stands, though, Maciejewski leads the way. David Perez is in second. Butcher in third spot. Alan Bowes in fourth. Blake Reynolds fifth. Patrick Verboe in sixth. Seventh, Evan Matthias Lujak. Nacho Gazbar in eighth. What about Alex Everett? How far back is he? Yeah, pretty far back now, isn't he? It's actually now 12 seconds off the back of that pack. It's a nice group of 4 cars here, but ultimately they're going to need something pretty sensational to happen in this race for them to be involved in a potential battle for the lead. Who's still on the lead lap here? Dennis Carter's still on the lead lap? Yeah, he is. He's just about on the lead lap as it stands. Marcos Dominguez is on the lead lap as well. Thomas Amoros is absolutely flying, by the way. P18 makes the move then on Marcos Dominguez? No, hold on. Who's just made a move on? It wasn't Ollie Peters, was it? Ollie Peters is a little bit further up the road. So actually they're back marking traffic. Kisik is back out as well. So he's got his car fixed after making that mistake through turn number 1. And now he's going to try his best, because actually Matthias Lujak is making the move here on Blake Reynolds and Alan Bowes. He makes the move on both Lamborghinis, and he's trying to get up towards the top 3 as quickly as he possibly can. So everybody around him's working together, but he's kind of been detrimental to that. But look at this. The front 2 have been caught. It's official. The front 2 have been caught, and now it is an 8-driver battle for the race victory. Ezequiel Rodriguez Toralba into the pits then, 24th as it was standing. But as it stands then, looks like Patrick Verboe is trying to make a move here on Nacho Gazbar. Gazbar's going to hold that inside line, and this is going to cost them time. They should be okay. The oval should get them out of trouble. And it does. But Andre Butcher, we're going to check this out from Forza Cam. And by the time they get towards the start-finish line, I think you're fine. He's going to be right with them at the front. He's going to drag everybody else along with him. Absolute spice. Absolutely. One thing is, though, he's not been able to save fuel. So he has not been able to save fuel in this race, whereas the drivers in front of him will have definitely been saving fuel. So here we go, then. Finally catching up. It has taken around about 44 minutes here for Butcher to indeed close up. Here we are. And actually, not catching up as strongly as I first thought, but as we come in towards the braking zone, in towards turn number 1, here he is. Here's Andre. Lujak just done the fastest lap of the race, by the way. It's currently P4. He's just done the fastest lap of today's race, so no fuel saving from him. So no fuel saving from him, that's for sure. Now Alan Bowes just in behind, Blake Reynolds in behind, Nacho Gazbar and Verboe still battling. And here is, after 45 minutes of a race, the front 8, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely nose to tail. The way this race has gone, it's been very interesting indeed. Onto the oval once again. Maybe these drivers battle sufficiently enough for Alex Everett to close in. He's not losing any time. If anything, he's gaining on the leader. But he's going to have to gain, what, 12 seconds to get onto the back of this pack? It's going to be very difficult. Pit stop phase is going to open up very, very shortly. Yeah, the pit stop phase is indeed going to open up very, very shortly. Who's been able to stretch it? That's the big question. Who's going to be able to stretch the second phase as well? So anybody that comes into the pits now, they're kind of done for. It is DJ Godzone. It is, yeah. Came season, I want to say season 1 this year. I think it was right at the start of the year. It might have been season 4 last year. But yeah, it is. Side drafting is a thing. So Nacho Gazbar then having to go defensive for Bowie now with the fastest lap of today's race. So everybody now is starting to really push here. So for Bowie with the fastest lap of the race, 44.681. So now, really, sort of Butcher wants to try and get involved with the front two here and maybe just split them. The fact that he can now save fuel is a big factor. I think you'll find that Lushak wants to get into that top 3 as soon as he possibly can. So he's gone from P8 all the way through this group here. But ultimately, they've kind of let him do it. I don't think anyone's too bothered about him overtaking. They're all just trying to save fuel. They're all trying to work their strategy here. Whereas Lujak's kind of showing all of his cards. Again, lots of mistakes being made today as well. In towards the bus stop there will come. Definitely not an overtaking opportunity if we want to maximise your speed. And right now, we've got Audis all over the show, with Lamborghinis involved as well. So it's Audi versus Lamborghini at the front of this race. Jacob Maciejewski still leading the way. David Perez second. Andre Butcher in third spot. They've got in fourth, Matthias Lujak, who indeed was leading this race at one point. And then you've got Alan Bowes, Blake Reynolds, Nacho Gazbar, and Patrick Bowie. As you can see here, Andre Butcher potentially looking for an opportunity to open up. And you see Nacho Gazbar makes the overtake on Blake Reynolds. So Blake Reynolds has been shifted back down to 7th position. Nacho Gazbar then is now looking to get forward in this race again. Again, he's not someone that likes to hang around at the back. He likes to try and make overtakes as soon as he possibly can. Dominic, I think everybody in this front 8's in a good position right now. I don't think anyone particularly is in a bad spot. So I think they're all going to pretty much... Oh, Chris Pisuk's out of the race. He's left the session as well. Alvaro Diaz now P20. Paul Kisik P21. James Lee P23. Back up to the front 8 though. Yeah, I think Lushak is probably going to think about bridging that gap now. Be very surprised if he doesn't decide to make the overtake here into turn 1 and get back up towards the front 2 after the bus stop, of course. Baffrage is actually watching as well. He's the race director, so he's watching as well. So I'm sure he's getting some amazing camera shots from this race as well. But yeah, these are really close now. And actually, Lushak has decided to stay P4. Yeah, he definitely has. Yeah, he doesn't want to get involved anymore then. So if P4 is sufficient enough for him, as Alan Bowes and Blake Reynolds go side by side, teammates of course, from McLaren Shadow. And now they're starting to catch up to a big cluster of back markers here. But again, the front 8 are very close indeed. Very, very close indeed. go check it out from the Bowie's perspective here. So you can see him battling then in P8. Just up ahead of him then is Blake Reynolds in that Lamborghini. And then we've got Alan Bowes just up ahead, teammate from McLaren Shadow as well. And we've got Nacho Gaspar, who seems to be a bit more of a hurry. Matthias Lujak then, who was leading this race quite considerably as well. And twice has made big errors. He went down to P8 at one point, but he's got back up to P4. He's then in behind Andre Butcher. Remember, Butcher, Bowes and Reynolds, they cannot win the prizes. So right now, there's really only 5 drivers out of the front 8 who can win the prizes. Oh no! Leader's being cleaned out there. Oh, he's taken P1 and P2 out. And Perez has been cleaned out here. They've just not... Oh no, he's taken the whole lead group out, hasn't he? He's taken the whole lead group out here. What has gone on there? So, Dennis Carter here. Well, he's left the door open on the inside. He's run wide. Just not sure, yeah. Oh, and then he turns over. I just don't know where he can go. Oh, and oh dear. Lushak's involved here as well. And no, Lushak is not involved. He leads the race now. So he's in behind Butcher as we will go live. And wow, Lushak leads then. Alan Bowes is now second. Blake Reynolds third. Maciejewski is in 4th position, so he's still in the hunt here. Andre Butcher then is in P5. Nacho Gaspar is in P6. And then Alex Everett, is he catching up to them? Well, a lot of them have got damaged, and he absolutely will. They would have all slowed down for sure. And yet, he is. He's like 11 seconds off the lead now, so everyone did have to slow up there. And ultimately, not sure what else the back marker could have done there. Like, he's gone into the bus stop, left the door open, and then ultimately the lead 2 cars have gone left and right of him. Like, where does he go? They've asked him to make a decision. And I'll be honest with you, yeah, of course, he's gone through this slowly. I think that's poor judgment from the leaders. So I genuinely think that the leaders have made him make a decision there by going left and right of him. I don't think he's done too much wrong. They needed to be a bit more patient. Now the lead group is 6 cars. And whoa, what's happening here then? So there's now Lujak's been, well, taken out here. So what's happened here? It's going to such an event then. Yeah, that's on him. That's on Lujak there. So again, it's all fair and well, turning off your engine to save fuel, but ultimately when you're going flat out on an oval section of a circuit, you can't expect everybody else to understand that you're doing that every single lap, you know? So Lujak there is just being tagged in the rear, but he's turned his engine off. Like, ultimately, yeah, it makes absolute sense. It makes absolute sense to be saving fuel, but not being dangerous to other drivers. So for me, that is on Lujak again. So Blake Reynolds now leads this race. Andre Butcher's in second. Jacob Maciejewski's in third. Gaspar's in fourth. Alan Bowes in fifth. And then we've got Lushak in sixth position. Again, our race director will be looking at all of this stuff. I'm just giving him a live opinion. So right now, Alex Everett, all of a sudden, is now only 10 seconds off the lead. Blake Reynolds leads the race. Andre Butcher's in P2, again, just keeping themselves out of trouble. Maciejewski is currently the lead car in terms of who can win the prizes. Nacho Gaspar's in second. And then Matthias Lushak is third. So right now, the bubble position is Alex Everett. Lushak, though, may have damage to his car. And he's only got himself to blame. Now he's trying to, well, get back up towards the lead group here. And you can see here that Alan Bowes is just like, you crack on. Lots of mistakes being made by the lead groups here. As, oh, what's happened to Andre? Well, Andre Butcher's into the pits then. So with 1 hour and 4 minutes left, he was not able to save fuel here at all. He was the lead car of the group, so I would imagine he is indeed got to save that fuel. Ollie, oh, everyone's coming in, aren't they? Xavier Sanchez is also on his pit stop. Alex Everett is pitting as well. There we go. So yeah, we're seeing a few drivers. Look at Xavier Sanchez though. Xavier Sanchez makes an overtake up the inside. David Perez is an off track here. Again, he's 14th now. Could have been an easy victory, but ultimately, one driver here, one back marker. It's caused a very interesting scenario. Andre is out of the pits here. He's got no one to work with. As we go live then. So he's got no one to work with. Who's that behind him, actually? This might be a blessing in disguise. He's got Verboe in behind him. So Verboe then, P11, is just in behind him. Although, yeah, it's not quite going to work out. But this has turned very interesting very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Over the course of 2 laps, all sorts of carnage went down. So yeah, big one. Lots of storylines here. Let's go up to the leaders. Then Nacho Gaspar, then P2 as it stands. And I think you'll find Alan Bowes has got damage to that car as well. Alan Bowes not able to really hang with the front 4 here, and that was indeed the contact he had with Matthias Lushak for with the dangerous driving. Surprised we haven't seen any kind of penalisation for that. But as it stands, then the front 5 are Blake Reynolds, Nacho Kaspar, Jacob Maciejewski, Matthias Lushak, and Alan Bowes. Daniel Sedgley now is the P6 car as it stands. Because we've indeed had Alex Everett coming to the pits. Alex Everett then did indeed end up behind Xavier Sanchez. These drivers are going to struggle now in terms of their strategy now to make it to the end. So they're going to have to really fuel save now to make it to the end here. As David Perez has made it up ahead of Yanni Koppanen. And, well, you know that he's going to be absolutely gutted here. As Yanni Koppanen is, coming out the pits. So Yanni Koppanen, watch out for him later on in this race. Because David Perez is yet to pit. Neither is, well, nobody out in front has pit yet as it stands. Patrick Verboe still sticking in behind then Andre Butcher. I guess these two have got to work together now, try and catch up. There's Thomas Amoros into the pits. Blake Reynolds comes in. So Blake Reynolds comes into the pit. So does Nacho Gaspar. So does Matthias Lushak, maybe? Yep, they're all in. Everybody's in. Everybody's in. Everyone and their brother's in. Alan Bowes. Yep, the whole gang are into the pits now. And ultimately now, where does Andre Butcher come out in all of this? He just needs to be in the pack, really, to save fuel. But, wow, the fact that there's going to be a splash and dash here. I think there's going to have to be a splash and dash for every single driver in this race. But be aware that Thomas Amoros, the pro driver, right, he had to stop early on because of contact. That might bring him into play still. He could still have an unbelievable finish here. Anybody that's able to make it past this phase of the race, if they saved enough fuel to end up in P1 at this stage of the race, would have been in a good spot. I think everybody's going to have to splash and dash at the end of this race. And Nacho Gaspar takes the lead of the race. Blake Reynolds goes out in second spot. And this is your front 3. And Alan Bowes moves down to 6th position. Andre Butcher's into P3. There we go. Here they come. They filter in. And now we've got back up to 7 cars. Yeah, the top 7 are now all very close. So after the pit stop phase, we actually only lost 1 driver, which is David Perez from the lead group, effectively. Oh man, this is interesting to say the very least. So Dennis Carter did receive a stop and go 30-second penalty, but he's actually retired from the race. Comes down to the final hour of this race. Blake Reynolds still leads. Nacho Gazbar leads the race, should I say. Blake Reynolds is in second spot. We've got Jacob Maciejewski. He's just gone up ahead here of the Bowie, and he's actually going to run very deep here in towards turn number 1. They're all of these green and blue livery cars are trying to get themselves up in the front to fight. Yanni Koppinen is just overtaken Sedgley. Where is Koppinen? Oh, okay. He's in this fight still. This group of cars are in this fight still as well, by the way. We've seen what can happen with the front lead group. As Alex Everett then makes the move on Xavier Sanchez. But these are still involved here. As much, even David Perez. So Perez is still involved in this. He's got this back marker car that he kind of won't really want to get ahead of until he uses him for slipstream. Is he going to be able to potentially go up to the back of this group of cars? I don't think Alan Bowes has got the car underneath him to keep up. I think that the damage that was caused by Lushak, turning his engine off into turn 1, has cost him his race here. So dangerous from Matthias Lushak. Again, we know that the drivers are doing that to save fuel, but it shouldn't be causing other drivers behind you to run into the back of you. Like, that is the driver who's cutting the engine's fault, ultimately. So, yeah. Alan Bowes, I don't think is going to be fighting in this race, unfortunately. Because of that. But this is going to help drivers such as Perez close in. So Perez might be able to use Alan to, potentially leapfrog his way through. But yeah, really unfortunate for Bowes. So again, not his fault at all. Patrick Verboe then is in P6, P5 then for Maciejewski. Butcher is in P4. Lushak is in P3. You've got Blake Reynolds and Nacho Gazbar just up ahead here. Yanni Koppinen, who knows, Mamamoo? Who knows? He's there or thereabouts. He's in the background, isn't he? So we know what can happen with this front 6 cars. We've seen them all involved in a scuffle during this championship. So I hope you've all enjoyed this. This has been an absolute blast this season. What game will we be on next time? Who knows? Maybe we'll do iRacing again. Maybe you guys will be excited enough to see iRacing once again. I've had fun on this game for sure. Oh yes, Timo. Front 6 separated by absolutely nothing. David Perez is definitely closing in as well. But actually, we want to do it from interval, really, don't we? This should give us a bit more of an indication as to exactly how far Perez is behind. So he's 2.1 seconds behind Alan Bowes. You can hear them all just again. So there we go. 3.9 seconds then, David Perez. He's going to get back up involved, I think. Do not count David Perez out. Remember, every single one of these drivers is going to have to save fuel. We have no idea if who's going to have to do a splash and dash in terms of fuel at the end of this race as well. So remember, that's going to be a factor. Oh my God, this is going to go down to the wire, isn't it? This is going to go down to the absolute wire. I don't think you're going to see too many overtakes now at this stage of the race. They'd be silly to do so. Although Nacho Gazbar is, I think, leaving the door open for someone to try and get ahead, because he's going to render himself pretty useless in this race if he keeps staying in the lead. As Andre Butcher then does indeed let him go ahead. And there we go. Here is David Perez. MOBIUZ is also catching back up. They are saving fuel like mad because they know that they're going to run out by the end. I think it's Nacho Gazbar, though, who's really saving a lot, and everyone else is just trying to stay behind him. So ultimately, that means everybody behind gets to catch up. And I think you'll find that Yanni Koppinen, I think you'll find Alex Everett, Daniel Sedgley, and Xavier Sanchez might have a chance to catch up here. Whether or not they're going to burn up all of their fuel to do so remains to be seen. But I think Yanni Koppinen, with the Porsche, might be in great shape. He might be in good shape here. I don't know. I don't want to get too many people too excited. But as it stands, get a bit excited. I'm going to let you get a bit excited. Here we go. So it still is Nacho Gazbar, but look at this. Perez is right behind. You go far chase, you can see exactly now. The cars, 7 cars, all battling for position. BOZ, again, just not able to hang with them. Just not able to hang with them at all. Alex Everett then. Let's see, how far is he behind them? Actually, has he gapped Koppinen? Oh, he has. And you can see then that Xavier Sanchez just sticks his nose in there. Again, the front drivers are trying to save so much fuel here. That ultimately, I think that these drivers will have a chance of catching up. Oh, I'm so excited. I am so excited for this. I love my job. When you get races like this, yeah, the excitement's just there. As Blake Reynolds is going to lose the position then to, I think that's Patrick Bowie, right? Bowie coming back through? He is. So he's coming back through. It's all good for sure. These are GT3 Buster Beats. So there's 8 different cars in GT3, although you'd be forgiven if you thought there's only 2, judging by what we're seeing on our screen right now. But yeah, the Lamborghini and the Audi are the fastest cars for sure. But you see that Perez, oh no, Perez is coming into the pits. So that might be, yeah, David Perez is into the pits then. So I'm not too sure what's happened there, but he, well, for sure isn't battling for the race victory anymore. Unless he's decided that, do you know what, everyone's got to do a splash and dash. I'm going to come in for my, I don't know, I don't think he would do that. You don't want to take yourself out. Look how close they are now to that group in front, by the way. Look how close they are to the group in front. I think this might be on. I think this might be on. So still Nacho Gazbar that leads, but this is the group of cars that are closing in. Let's watch it from Xavier Sanchez's chase cam, shall we? Yeah, you can see visibly, the bus stop chicane is the lead group. The bus stop chicane is the lead group of cars. And then you've got this group here. I think Alan Bowes might naturally be saving fuel because of the front damage to his car. That could be, this is exciting. I'm sorry, I can't even get the words out at this stage, but this is genuinely exciting here. Xavier Sanchez, like, realistically, he wants to save fuel here, but if he wants to help the 2 guys in front, he needs to indeed chill out and really help them. Well, here we go. Verboe has gone for the lead. Everybody's saving so much fuel into turn number 1, and it's just easy. And they're all working together here. And maybe Verboe's just, oh no. It's definitely not what you want to be doing. They're all trying to get up into the, I think these 3 have decided that they're all going to try and get their 3 cars up into the top 3 positions and try and manage this race. Again, cutting off the engine at every opportunity. P2, Lujac nearly takes out Verboe as well. Lujac is an incredible driver, but God, has he got a mistake in him. He's got some serious pace, but yeah, there is a mistake in him for sure. So as we look on board then, still the lead for Verboe. Mateusz Lujac still P2, Nacho Gaspar P3. Again, you have to wait till they cross the line for it to update on your screens. And the front 7 are starting to be strung out a little bit here. And if the front 3 or 4 can't save enough fuel, the splash and dash at the end, expect someone like Alex Everett maybe. Actually, they've been caught now by Sedgley. Sedgley's right on the back here. What about Dominic Plona? Well, now Plona's catching up here. And then Perez. So Perez is quite far off the back of Plona, isn't he? He's coming through the bus stop chicane here. So he's a little bit far back. Verboe still leads though. Nacho Gaspar, I think, wants to split these 2. Just so they can't really be in cahoots with each other. Lujac closes that gap down. And the plot thickens, ladies and gentlemen, because Mateusz Lujac has just received a drive-through penalty. So Lujac has got to serve a drive-through penalty now for causing an incident or recklessly driving into turn 1. He turned his engine off, and don't get me wrong, everybody has been doing the same thing, turning their engine off, but as soon as you cause an incident by doing something like that, it is reckless driving. So it is Lujac then who's going to receive a drive-through penalty for causing contact running into turn number 1. So just to clarify, it's not against the rules, it's not against any laws or anything like that to cut your engine, but ultimately as soon as that is a reason for someone else to have an incident or you cause contact because of it, it is then reckless driving. So yeah, he slowed down into turn number 1 excessively, which caused the contact between him and Alan Bowes. And he's now got to serve a drive-through penalty. So he will have to, well, not drive-through. Sorry, it is a drive-through penalty. So yeah, Lujac is going to receive a penalty. And that's going to take him out of this lead group as well. Nacho Gaspar moves back up to P2. So now Verboe leads the way. Andre Butcher now just on behind Blake Reynolds. As it stands though, the front 4 take Lujac out of the equation because he will have that drive-through penalty. Patrick Verboe is going to win the prizes. Nacho Gaspar is going to finish 2nd, and Maciejewski is going to finish in 3rd. We know it's going to get frantic near the end of this race, though, because of course it's basically an oval. There will be changes in position. We have no idea who's going to need to have a splash and dash in terms of putting a bit of fuel in the car and an added pit stop. But also the group behind, Alex Everett, Koppinen, Sanchez, Sedgley and Plona are all catching up. So again, we will go chase cam here. They're coming onto the oval section. And look how close it's getting. So actually, Plona's just dropped off the back of these 4 cars in front. We've got on board with Sedgley. You can actually see the lead group are coming up towards the bus stop chicane now. So it is closing up here. It is hugely closing up. The front 10 are pretty much on the same part of the circuit. Okay, so as the race directors just said, He cut his speed significantly earlier than he had done previously, and he lost about 10 miles per hour, so Alan Bowes just had nowhere to go. And ultimately, it's cost Lushak here a penalty, and he's not taken it yet. But he will have to indeed take it on the next lap. He's trying to save fuel here as well. Cutting the engine at every possible. Yeah, this is why we've got a steward watching the race as well, because obviously we're trying to we can't make decisions live. We're all watching here. We're just trying to enjoy ourselves, really. We saw that it didn't look right, but ultimately we haven't got the right data. You lot watching at home and me watching here in my seat, we haven't got the right data to make informed decision. I can only call it as I see it. But yeah, definitely didn't look right. You know, really, the biggest loser still here is Alan Bowes. Like, Alan Bowes has just not got a car underneath him now to challenge for the race victory. But welcome to the broadcast. If you've just joined, make sure you hit that follow button as well. Would be much appreciated. But hopefully you're enjoying yourself. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself. This is the BenQ, the MOBIUZ Challenger Cup. It used to be called the BenQ Challenger Cup. Season number 5. And as it stands right now, we're about to see this become effectively like a 12-driver race at the front after nearly 2 hours. The second group are definitely catching up to the lead group. Yeah, for sure catching up to the lead group here as Maciejewski and Blake Reynolds swap in positions. As Lushak is now P5, and I think he's just gone into the pits. Yeah, there we go. So he's got to serve his penalty. So it is just a drive through, and out we come. So that puts him down to P12 in behind Plona. It's not, so it's, you know, a drive-through penalty is not as significant, of course, as a stop-go. You can see he's going to lose a hell of a lot of time, but he still does have a chance of winning this. So, yeah, it could still all fall into place. Alan Bowes maybe catching up. Alex Everett, again, he is the driver that is just outside those prize positions. And remember, we've also got to think about our driver of the day. For me, got to be looking at someone like Paul Kisik, currently P18, started P28. Did have that incident where he made a mistake into turn number 1. Or maybe someone like James Lee. James Lee, the only rookie license in the championship. He's only, I think, 15 or 16 years old. He is super young. He didn't have a good start here. He's 2 laps down, but he kept going. He is currently in P20 as it stands. Maybe Yanni Koppanen. He's the driver who's gone outside the box, hasn't he? He's gone for the Porsche. Maybe because he's chosen a different car here and he's, you know, repping P8 as it stands. He is closing up to that lead group as well. Maybe we could be looking at him for the driver or the performance of the day, or maybe even the BMW then of Daniel Sedgley. Maybe we could be looking at him potentially as well. Who knows? Anya, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, Doc? You all good, guys? There's Andre Butcher and Jacob Maciejewski still battling for position here. Nacho Gazbar still holding on to P2 in that yellow car. Still lots of action to come for sure. As Butcher's trying to get up ahead. Just gets the door slammed in his face. But these drivers keep battling for position. Alan Bowes still on the back of the pack here. Hell of a drive from Alan Bowes, by the way. But it's really about when Alex Everett, Koppanen, Sanchez, Sedgley and Plona catch up here. Perez now 26 seconds off the lead. So he's lost 26 seconds. Not Perez, sorry. Lushak's lost 15 seconds effectively through his drive-through penalty. Is he going to be able to catch back up to the pack, though? That is the question. But I think you'll find that a lot of these drivers are going to run out of fuel here. They're going to have to do a little stop to get enough fuel to get to the end of this race. So hold your hats, ladies and gentlemen. It is still lots of excitement. It's going to go down to the wire, that's for sure. And our MOBIUZ Challenger Cup winner Right now, you can pick one of 3. So again, remember, Butcher, Reynolds, and indeed Bose, they're P4, 5, and 6. They're pro drivers. They cannot win this. They cannot win this championship. They can win the race, but ultimately they will not be our MOBIUZ Challenger Cup champion. They are the pro drivers. The Bowie Dote still leads this race. In fact, 4 people will receive penalties during this race as well. And I think that's kind of chilled out the drivers at the front. I'm not sure about you people at home watching. Oh, hello. Oh, as Andre Butcher makes a big late lunge up the inside. And that is P3 taken out here. So Maciejewski and Butcher have had a coming together there. And what has happened here with Andre Butcher? One of our pro drivers. Let's check out the session events here. Yeah, there's the crash. So I was just about to say that they've chilled out here. And what do we want to watch it from? We want to watch it from Chase Cam, really. It's not letting me do it, is it? It's not letting me do it from Chase Cam, unfortunately. Oh, they've all... Wow. It would have to be looked at by our race director there. But I think that might be a case of... I think that could well be a case of... The front 3 have all tried saving a bit too much fuel. Meatball flags come out though. Maciejewski has got past Andre Butcher. Kind of working together here. So yeah, there's the crash once again. Again, yeah, the closing speed. Has Butcher got on the brakes too late? Is the closing speed too much? There is there's some interesting occurrences in this race for sure. As into the pits then Butcher will come. He's got a meatball flag for sure. Yanni Koppelin passes as well. Xavier Sanchez is going to pass as well. As we go to the standings now, Verboe leads this race. Then we've got in second spot Blake Reynolds. Blake Reynolds then side by side with Nacho Gaspar. Gaspar does not back out there. Blake Reynolds then, using all of his experience, does. Jacob Maciejewski now P4. We've got Alex Everett in P5. Yanni Koppelin is up to P6. Xavier Sanchez 7th. Dominic Plona is in P8. Sedgley is caught up here as well. Matthias Luszak now is in P10. He all of a sudden now is only 11.9 seconds back, so he's caught up 4 seconds. But people trying to save fuel. As Alex Bose is into the pits as well. So Alex Bose was obviously involved in that. I'm guessing he comes out of the pits now. I'm wondering actually whether he might have just thought, you know what, everyone's going to have to get fuel at some point during this race. Everybody's going to try and save fuel and lose loads of lap time every single lap. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to get my extra fuel now. I can then go absolutely flat out to the end of this race. Because I think what Alan Bose is thinking right now is that everybody is going to try and save fuel to not pit, but he thinks it's impossible. So if he thinks it's impossible right now, he's just now going to go flat out. He's not going to try and save fuel. He's going to be doing unbelievable lap times. Everybody else will have to pit at some point as well anyway. So he will be in the hot seat to potentially go out and win this race. I think that's what he's doing right now. So yeah, nothing from the race director as of yet. Say for sure it will be investigated. But it's still an 8-car race at the front, right? Sedgley on the back of this. So there's Sedgley. He's in behind Dominic Plona. Xavier Sanchez then right on the back here. And this race has had absolutely everything. Let me know if you've enjoyed this in the chat, guys. Let me know if you've enjoyed it. I'm sure there's a few drivers out there thinking, no, this is not ideal. But as a spectacle, this has been fun, right? This has been an absolute spectacle. Remember, if you want to indeed go and check out what these drivers are winning today, type MOBIUZ in the chat. MOBIUZ. But as it stands then with what? Just over 30 minutes to go. The race lead is Patrick Verboe, Nacho Gaspar second, Blake Reynolds third, Maciejewski is in fourth. We've got Alex Everett, who has caught up then to this group. Yanni Koppinen, P6, Xavier Sanchez, P7. Then we've got Dominic Ploner, Daniel Sedgley, Matthias Lujak, who's now caught up. He had the drive-through penalty, remember. He's now 9.6 seconds behind. But again, he will not be able to save fuel. Watch out for Alan Bowes here. I think Alan Bowes, and actually, we can check this out. So we're going to go and check out last lap in terms of pace. So the last lap, a 45.5. What about Verboe? So he's in the 47.2 was Verboe. So they're all indeed now really trying to save fuel. There's Maciejewski. Maciejewski's trying to save so much fuel here. I reckon, and again, I need this to be confirmed, I think he might have been at fault for the contact, you know, to turn number one. As everyone filters in once again, front seven very, very close here. So it's been investigated. So yeah, Maciejewski is under investigation here. Dominic Ploner, just about catching up to the back here. Sedgley, and then Lujak, who, while he's in the pit stop, has asked why did he get a penalty and no one else has got it. I think pretty obvious why. Alex Everett now, it's P3. More than likely we want to take the lead. Anyway, lap times, what are we looking at here? So 145.7. As we go up towards turn number one here, it's going to be 3 wide. Oh God, this is not what you want to be doing with 30 minutes left, is it? Nacho Gaspar right up and behind Verboe. Alex Everett wants to get up into the lead here. Front 6 now separated by absolutely nothing. Get your loincloths out. This is absolutely ridiculous. Gaspar leaves the door wide open up the inside. Alex Everett is going to come in. Nacho Gaspar. Oh! What has happened here with Verboe? What has happened here with Verboe? What has happened here? So watch this into turn number one. It's on the brakes late. Oh, he just lost it. Oh, he just lost it. Oh, he just lost it under braking. Oh, it's just a really unfortunate incident. Fair play to him. He reverses off the track as well, where he could have tried to spin it going forwards, and he's just lost it. Oh, it's gut-wrenching for him. He's leading the race. Nacho Gaspar takes the lead, and you've got to feel for him. Thought he was like trying to slow the pack up or something, and someone went into the back of him. My cynical thinking, ultimately. And no, that wasn't the case. Nacho Gaspar leads. Alex Everett now second. Look at Koppinen. He's up to third. Blake Reynolds is in fourth position now, so he obviously had the contact there. Dominic Ploner's up to fifth now. Jacob Maciejewski is in sixth. Xavier Sanchez in seventh. Sedgley now eighth position. Lujak is now, well, he's not far behind here at all, as it will sort itself out. He will now sort itself out, the timing on the left-hand side of your screen. Alex Everett is now leader of this race, by the way. So Alex Everett has made it all the way up to the lead of this race, but we are now in the last 30 minutes here. and we just don't know what the fuel situation is. We do not know what the fuel situation is. Alan Bowes, for me, I think everybody's going to have to pit here. He could go flat out. I think he's recognised that everybody has to do a splash and dash. He's good for fuel now, and he's made the decision. Oh, poor Verboe. Well, Verboe, actually, he might be in a good spot here because he's been forced to pit. Whereas everyone else, again, might be saving fuel. And just to explain to everybody, if you're thinking, well, obviously he's going to lose exactly the same amount of time as everyone else who pits. No, because everybody else now is probably thinking they can still save fuel and make it to the end. So every single lap, they're going to lose a second, they're going to lose 2 seconds, but they still have to pit. Whereas Alan Bowes right now, with a damaged car, Alan Bowes is just going to go as flat out as possible. He can go as fast as he wants. He is going to catch up. And he's done his pit stop already, so he's got that pit stop in the bank. Whereas everyone else is going to not only lose time in their pit stop, they're going to lose time on track because they still feel like they can do something special. Kolomansky then is in P14 behind Patrick Verboe. This is going down to the wire. Alex Everett now and indeed Nacho Gaspar are in the lead, and I think Alex Everett's decided, oh, he's doing it as well. He's decided to do it as well. So he's come in early, he's just going to get the fuel on board and then go quickly. So where is Bowes going to be in all of this? So I think if Bowes is going to get Everett here, surely, this is getting exciting now. This is the do or die situation. So there's Alan Bowes. He's going to come through turn number 1 here. Alex Everett, where are you? Are you coming back out yet? He just needs a little bit of fuel. Just needs a little bit of fuel. How close is he to the pit exit here? How close are you to the pit exit? You're very close, aren't you? Yes, you are. Alan Bowes then through turn number 1. And you can see then, Alan Bowes, effectively, if everybody now pits, is the leader of this race. But he cannot win the prizes. This is incredible. So Alex Everett has made the decision right now. He can now go flat out. He is not going to lose any time on every lap time here. Nacho Gaspar, he has to save fuel if he wants to win this race now, because Alex Everett is going to catch up. Perez has already pitted as well. Yeah, so Perez now effectively is in the lead, I think. I'm trying to work strategy out here is ridiculous. So they come up towards the bus stop here, and either Nacho Gaspar comes in and realizes, no, I'm not going to be able to make it to the end, or he stays out and he tries to make it to the end. It's as simple as that. If he doesn't come in now, he's done. He has to make it to the end, basically. Koppinen. Is that Porsche the trump card? Does he need to pit again? Here we go then. Nacho Gaspar's not coming in. He is not coming in. So he feels like he can make it to the end. But remember, Nacho Gaspar has been lapping with the lead group the entirety of this race, so he might have been able to save fuel, whereas Alex Everett had to use every litre of fuel just to catch up to the lead pack. So he's behind Alan Bowes. Perez, we think Perez might be good as well here. So Perez could potentially be the driver that goes out and wins this. Lushak then is no longer in the session. He is done. So Lushak is out of this race then. He has thrown the toys out the pram, as they say. Unfortunately. It is what it is, though. Hopefully they learn from these mistakes. Yanni Koppinen, P2. And well, again, lap times here, 46.0. Look at Bowes, 45.9. So, again, not really, he hasn't got any slipstream to work with, so the fact that he's actually quicker is huge, in all fairness. So I don't know what I'm saying in that regard. Alex Everett, of course, very, very quick. But back up to the leaders then. This is your front three. 25 minutes, 30 seconds to go. I have absolutely no idea who's winning this. Has Koppinen got the car? Is the car better on fuel than the other two? The Porsche is not anywhere near as quick as the Audi and as the Lamborghini across one lap around this circuit. But Koppinen is in a potential position to win this race. They go 3 wide up towards turn number 1. Koppinen's going to go all the way around the outside here. Nacho Gaspar, I think he's trying to let him go up into the lead so he can save some fuel. But ultimately, Koppinen's not letting it happen. So right now, you've got to kind of battle to stay behind the car. It's crazy as that seems. Koppinen's going to lose 1 more position here. He's going to go down to P3. This is fascinating. Fascinating. Not long to go in this race at all. So again, Yanni Koppinen is now P3. Xavier Sanchez started P21. He's currently in P4. How this race has worked out is super, super exceptional, right? This has been so good. Oh, the MOBIUZ Challenger Cup never ceases to amaze. You see some mistakes. It's motorsport. That is motorsport. So we're going to be looking at lap watch again. Alan Bowes, what did he do? 45.7. What did the leader do? 46.7. They are saving so much fuel. Alan Bowes, with 23 minutes here, might even just catch them. And even if they do stay out, he will be able to overtake them. And you see the Nacho Gaspar just trying to give up the lead. He doesn't want to be in the lead anymore. He's had enough of saving. He can't save any more fuel by being in the lead. So he's just trying to get in behind somebody. Into the lead then, Dominic Plona. So Plona was P12 at one point, and now he's up to P1. Like, what is going on? So Andre Butcher and Jacob Maciejewski's incident is going to be investigated after the race. It's going to be investigated after the race. Back up to the oval we will go. Anybody fancy predicting who's going to win this race, guys? Because I certainly can't. I have zero idea. David Perez. You think Victor? You think David Perez? Koppinen? Easy. Yeah, Koppinen's in a good spot here, isn't he? Just kept himself alive, really, as the Finn. Yeah, it's all about who's got to stop here, really. Can any of these lead group drivers go to the end? Again, Bowes is just catching up at an incredible rate. Nacho Gaspar now, 45.8 on that previous lap. What's Alan Bowes doing? 45.5, so he's catching up. Alex Everett, what's he doing? 45.9, so Alan Bowes a little bit faster. Alex Everett has figured out early. He has figured out super early here. Remember, he pit from the lead of this race as well. He's managed to drag himself back up into this race. And he pit from the lead of this race. I tell you what, an hour ago, would you have said that this would be the order at the front? No way. Alex Everett has decided to come into the pits early just so he can run quick laps for the rest of this race and hope that everybody else tries to save fuel, which means they go slow and they still also have to get fuel. This is, yeah, pretty exciting. This is absolutely going down to the wire. So Dominic Plona still leads this race then, 4 tenths ahead of Nacho Gaspar. Yanni Koppelin P3. Xavier Sanchez P4. Blake Reynolds then in P5. Remember, Xavier Sanchez, Blake Reynolds cannot win this race in terms of the prizes. So it's the front three: Dominic Plona, Nacho Gaspar, and Yanni Koppelin. If they finish in that order, that is who wins the prizes. Sanchez and Reynolds looking to win the pro class effectively in this race. And then you've got Jacob Maciejewski, who is under investigation, will be investigated further after the race. Daniel Sedgley, currently 4.3 seconds off, and he's in the BMW. So again, the unknown factor in terms of the car manufacturer, is he able to save fuel whereas everyone else can't? I know the BMW is relatively good under fuel. He's not got slipstream to work with though, which makes it incredibly difficult. So Perez 11 seconds behind. Thomas Amoros just made a move on Ollie Peters. Yes, he has. Let's check out Perez's lap times, by the way. 45.3, he is flying. If he's got the fuel underneath him, he may catch up to this pack in front if they have to save even further. Imagine we see David Perez come through. Oh. And also we've got to indeed vote for our performance of the final. Someone who's gone and done something a little bit special this race that hasn't necessarily got top 3, but has done something pretty special. Nacho Gaspar again, playing it safe now. Again, he's led so many laps this race. But he gave up the lead to Dominic Plona. I think Plona's, ideally, want to drive away now. I think he's decided that he will be coming into the pits. I think both of the front two have decided they're going to come into the pits at some point. I think they've realised that they cannot save any more fuel. Xavier Sanchez is about to go up to P3, I think. I think Yanni Koppelin might be able to go to, just judging by him going as slow as he is, I think he might be able to make it to the end here, but he just has to do a little bit more work in fuel saving. I don't think the Audis can. Through turn 4, they will indeed come once again. Front 4 separated by about 1.6 seconds. Blake Reynolds just in behind. Maciejewski as well. Sedgley P7, Perez P8, Alan Bowes in P9, Alex Everett actually a top 10. Everett not really catching up to the leaders, to be honest. I think he would probably still come out ahead of them if they had to come into the pits, but again, not having any slipstream at all. The fact that they're all saving fuel but also working together does mean that they can sort of just stretch it out ever so slightly. Dominic Plona still leading the way. Nacho Gaspar closes in towards the bus stop chicane. They're actually catching up to Ollie Peters. Is anyone going to decide to bite the bullet and come in? No. No one wants to. They're going to the end now. That is it. They've decided, haven't they? Across the line then, a 45.6 then for Plona. Again, no slipstream to work with there. Blake Reynolds makes a move on Koppelin. I think Koppelin's left that door open, hasn't he? He runs wide there. And Blake Reynolds then moves up into a top 5. Yanni Koppelin now down into P5. Jacob Maciejewski P6. And the next driver is Daniel Sedgley. He is fuel saving like mad. David Perez. Now, he's caught about a second up in the last 3 laps, 15 minutes to go. If no one in front of him has to pit, he should be pretty good. He's not going to be good to win this race, unfortunately. But if they have to pit, he is the lead car, I guess. I think he's probably the lead car. You can see Alan Bowes and Alex Everett aren't really making any inroads now. Andre Butcher. We know how quick he is. Could he potentially still win this race? He had to fix some damage to the car. He will have enough fuel. as we again exit the infield here with 15 minutes remaining. Butcher trying to get up into that top 10. So the gap then about 31.9 seconds. Actually, if anything, it's going out. It's going, yeah, he's actually extending. The lead's been extended to him. Into the bus stop we come. And yeah, again, he's going to need the front drivers to pit. Need to have that splash and dash. 14 minutes to go. We're going to find out very, very quickly. It's Thomas Amoros, by the way, still battling away. Fair play to him. He raced clutch driver. It didn't start very well here for him at all. But ultimately, still going along, and that's why he's a pro driver, guys. So we've only ever had one pro driver not finish a race in the MOBIUZ Challenger Cup. Quit before it's really began. They always do tend to finish. There's a difference between a pro driver and not pro driver for sure. Blake is just doing his thing. Blake is just doing his thing, P3. Nacho, Gaspar. And this is actually welcome for Dominic Plona. Will he try and get ahead of Ollie Peters here? I'm not sure he will, you know. Thomas Amoros is really quick as well, so if they can just sit behind, this might close the field up again here. You know, Plona might need to stay behind. Well, no, he isn't. I think he's resigned to the fact that he's going to have to save fuel. He's going to go in back as he was, heading towards the bus stop. As Ollie Peters is into the pits actually, so they've been forced to make the overtake, or to indeed put a lap on. And the front two now, as we head then in towards turn number 1. We've kind of got a little gap here on Blake and indeed Xavier Sanchez, and I'm starting to think now that Plona and Gaspar are both resigned to the fact that they are going to have to stop, and they're just trying to drive as fast as they can now until they get to that point of this race. Big mistake by the race leader then, Plona, which is... Oh! Blake Reynolds has spun. Blake Reynolds has spun the car here. Was that all on his own? No, that's the big question. Oh, he's dipped it on the grass, hasn't he? No, he hasn't. He's just oversteered. Tyres not in a good spot. And he gets it going again. So Blake Reynolds was doing so well, and I am now going to blame Cos. Cos, I'm blaming you. That's your fault, brother. That is your fault. David Perez just passed Daniel Sedgley. Sedgley really is trying to save fuel here. Sedgley now with an Audi to work with. Spicy as it should be, absolutely. I've had an absolute blast with this. Paul Kisik still P18. Started P28 right at the back of the grid. Still up to P18. Thomas Amoros was facing the moon at one point during this race. And he has got some serious pace. Again, 46.2s. As Kolomansky is into the pits then. Now we're starting to see everybody that has to add some fuel to their car. It becomes very, very difficult. Oh, the tactics are in use. Tactics are in use. Yanni Koppinen has come in. Oh, well, now, here we go. This is where it's interesting here. Alex Everett. Where's Alex Everett? Does Everett get him? No, he won't. He's nowhere near. Oh, no, he is close. He is very, very close here. So Dominic Plona came in. Does Alex Everett get them, though? He is. I think Alex Everett's going to get them both. He is going to get them both. I think Alex Everett leads this race. Everyone's going to have to come in. And Alex Everett, with that strategy call early in this race, leads this pack of cars, but now it's split to 2. David Perez is a little bit further up the road. I think he's good on fuel, though. So Perez, all of a sudden, may be the favourite here. Blake Reynolds now is behind Jacob Maciejewski, and Nacho Gaspar is on his own. So right now, no one's getting slipstream working together. It's split. Actually, to be fair, he's behind Thomas Amoros. Amoros with some serious pace at this stage. And here we go. Now this is where it gets spicy. 9 minutes, 30 seconds to go. And the Nacho Gaspar does lead this race, but I think he's going to have to come in, right? Or he doesn't finish this race. Like, how much fuel can you save now? This back marker, Thomas Amoros, could be the absolute key to victory here for Nacho Gaspar. If he can stick with Amoros, Amoros is one of the quickest guys in the world, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, he's out of position here in this race, but if Nacho Gaspar could just stick in that slipstream of him, he will be slower than Amoros, I would imagine, especially if he's trying to save fuel. He could be the key to this race. Maciejewski, he did not come in, of course. Blake Reynolds, I don't think, has come in, no. David Perez is fourth. So David Perez is only 8.2 seconds behind, and if he's good on fuel, he could go win this race. Daniel Sedgley then in P5, and this has changed so much, this race. Oh, it's been superb. This has been absolutely superb. MOBIUZ Challenger Cup, baby. And this is then the second group of cars in behind. So Everett runs wide here. Well, leaves the door open for Xavier Sanchez. Could Xavier Sanchez potentially go out and win this race? I think he can. Marcos Dominguez then into the pits from P16. But Alex Everett has made the call early in this race. He's still behind Alan Bowes, by the way. So Alan Bowes effectively is the lead car of everybody pits. And we didn't think he had a car that was capable of winning earlier. We did not think he had a car capable of winning. But I think that we've had a back marker. I think we've had a back marker obviously caused a bit of a ruckus earlier, and it had a negative impact on the race for the race leader. I think Nacho Gaspar may be sending Thomas Amoros a thank you card. I think he's actually going to help Nacho. If Nacho can make it to the end, Thomas Amoros would have helped him save that fuel. Alan Bowes then. Is he the driver that is going to win this race? Can Daniel Sedgley stay out until the end? Can Perez stay out to the end? We feel like out of the top 5, Perez is the driver that's got the biggest chance, and he is driving like he's got a full tank of fuel here. I think Perez is good, right? Perez came in a lot earlier than everybody. He was forced to come in. It could have been Koppinen at one point that could have won this race. Xavier Sanchez then, well, he's side by side with Everett. They go towards turn number 1. And Botcha then, it looked like he was going to get involved with the P1 and almost had contact with him. Koppinen's going to filter in. Look at these 4. They can all go as fast as they want now. They do not have to go slow. Xavier Sanchez then defending from Butcher. Koppinen in behind. This is fantastic stuff. This is absolutely fantastic stuff. Nacho Gaspar maybe being caught ever so slightly now by Maciejewski. But this race has become very interesting indeed. As we got Koppinen with a late lunge up the inside of Andre Butcher. He gets the job done. The Porsche though on the power nice and early. And the Lamborghini will have to filter in behind, I think. No, he won't. No, the Lamborghini's still going for it. And he does hold on to that position on the power early. And they're just losing each other time now. So as we make the long run down towards the bus stop, we've got 5 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Koppinen, you've got to push him. I think you've got to push him. Nacho Gaspar still not into the pits, I don't think. No. Can he make it to the end? Oh, look how much fuel he's saving. Oh, he was off the gas very early there. I thought he was going to short shift there. That doesn't actually work, unfortunately. Oh, look how much fuel he's saving. Oh, it's going to be so tight for him if he makes it to the end or not. I think you're going to see him run out of fuel on the last lap if he goes all the way to the end. Oh, this is just incredible. Yeah, you know, even if Nacho can make it to the end, I think Perez might catch him anyway. 4 laps remain of this race. And this has been an absolute classic. Alex Everett battling. Oh, no, there's contact between Alex Everett and Xavier Sanchez. Oh, what has happened there? Oh, no. No one's really at fault there. Like, again, let's go back. Let's rewind it back. Oh, I don't think anyone's at fault there. I think the room's been left. I don't think Xavier moves left, and I don't think Alex moves right. I think that's more netcode more than anything. Then they've got together and got sticky. So that might be Alex Everett's chances of winning this race over. David Perez, how far are you behind? Oh, he's 3.6 seconds behind. David Perez is absolutely favourite to go out and win this race now. Let's check out Nacho Gaspar again from Chase Cam. But how much fuel is he saving? Oh, no. Yeah, he's got nothing. He's got nothing left. He's got absolutely nothing left in the car. Yeah, Nacho Gaspar has not got enough left, I don't think. He's getting caught by 2 seconds a lap by Perez. Maciejewski, has he got anything left? Not sure he has. David Perez is in dream. Blake Reynolds, by the way. He's still absolutely flying here. Maybe he goes out and wins the race. Oh no, big mistake there by Perez. Oh, he manages to get it stopped. He ran so wide there. So wide. We've got 2 laps remaining. And it's all on really whether Perez has got that fuel. We think Perez does. What a drive it's been from him. Daniel Sedgley, by the way, P5. Daniel Sedgley, P5. He's gone for it, hasn't he? And as it stands, he's going to fall just outside of those prize positions. Unless Gaspar and Maciejewski do lose significant time. Maciejewski's right up behind him. Perez is 2.4 seconds behind. We're going to have 2 laps remaining here. Maciejewski's going to get Gaspar easily. Yeah, it's going to be relatively easy. Relatively easy here. But David Perez, it's going to be like taking candy from a baby for him in behind, isn't it? Don't lose each other time into turn 1. That's the last thing you guys need right now. Do not lose each other time into turn 1. Gaspar's got no fuel. He is done for here. Can Maciejewski hang on? 2 laps remain. They've got Perez just in behind us, 1.5 seconds. Can Maciejewski make it to the end? We don't know. We do not know. Daniel Sedgley, could he potentially get himself into that top 3? Remember, Blake Reynolds cannot win the prizes here. So him being a P4, even if he gets into the top 3, he will not win prizes. He's one of our pros. But this has gone down to the wire. Absolutely down to the wire here. Nacho Gaspar is actually going to be able to save some sort of fuel here. It's still 1.5 seconds though. Again, they're going to use all of the fuel though on the oval section. They've got 1 lap remaining. And are we going to see that change of position on this lap or the final lap? Maciejewski, did he save enough fuel? Has he saved enough fuel earlier on in this race? They are both going to be sluggish. Perez, maybe Perez has started to run out of fuel. Has Perez? Maybe Perez hasn't got the fuel, guys. Has Perez got the fuel? Does it come down to Daniel Sedgley in the BMW? Could it potentially be his race? Are they all going to run out of fuel in front of him and it becomes the BMW's race to lose? Who knows? We're on to the final lap then. And well, we're going to go on board with Perez and we're going to go on his chase cam. He is closing in and Nacho Gaspar is into the pits. He cannot make it. He needs the splash and dash. Daniel Sedgley's going to move up into the top 3. It's going to be between Maciejewski and Perez for the win here on the final lap. Has Maciejewski got the fuel? Has he got the fuel? We're on the final lap. We're on board then with David Perez, who was, wow, where was he? He's like P12. He was like P12 in this race. We've got Daniel Sedgley has moved up to a top 3. And I think Perez might be fuel saving as well. I'm not sure Perez has quite got the fuel. This is going to be intense. This is going to be so intense here. Maciejewski with the slipstream. I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold on. But hold on. Paul Kisik's in front of him. So the BMW in front of him might save him. So could the back marker save him? Oh, this is going to be so, so close. We're on to the oval section then for the final lap of the MOBIUZ Challenger Cup Season 5. Maciejewski in the Audi is in front of us in the Audi. Perez in second spot, who we're on board with. Down towards the bus stop chicane. Has Maciejewski saved enough fuel here? Through the bus stop they come. It's a great exit though from Perez. And I tell you what, Maciejewski's got that BMW to work with. We come around the final couple of corners here. Who's going to get the win? It does come down to the final few meters. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I think the BMW of Paul Kisik is going to save Maciejewski. They come up towards the line. Perez is closing in. Is he going to run out of room here? He is. Maciejewski's going to do it. What a win it is for Maciejewski. David Perez is going to take P2. And Daniel Sedgley is going to get that final. Oh no, he's slow. He's slow. Where's Nacho Gaspar? I think Sedgley's just about going to do it. He's going to roll to P3. What a race it was. Nacho Gaspar then is going to take P5, we think. As Alan Bowes does take P4. Nacho Gaspar, unfortunately for him, gets P5, had to fuel stop in the end. Andre Butcher in P6, Blake Reynolds 7, Xavier Sanchez in P8, Yanni Coppin P9, Dominic Plona is in P10, Alex Everett P11, Verboe just didn't finish, he ran out of fuel. We've then got Amoros, who finishes in P13. Matthias Kolomansky is going to finish in 14th, 15th then for Ollie Peters. Marcos Dominguez is going to finish in 16th. Paul Kisik is going to finish in 17th. Alvaro Diaz in 18th and then 19th for James Lee. Jacob Maciejewski is, well, I'm hoping he hasn't just left the session. Where's the donuts, man? What is going on here? Why is he not doing donuts? He's gone. So we're going to have to go on board then with David Perez, who takes P2. And unfortunately, he's run out of fuel, I think, on this lap here. Oh, wow. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. What a race. So hopefully everybody indeed enjoyed this race. Maciejewski's going to finish P1. It's going to be David Perez in P2. Sedgley finishes in P3. What an unbelievable turn of events. Alan Bowes then takes 4th. He is the lead of our pro drivers. Nacho Gaspar then will finish in P5. Andre Butcher 6th. Blake Reynolds 7th. Xavier Sanchez 8th. Yanni Koppinen is in 9th. And yeah, Yanni Koppinen did try something different. Just didn't quite work out. Dominic Plona then in P10. Oh, wow. Do you know what? I'm gonna give driver of the day to Alex Everett, or performance of the race to Alex Everett. He tried something different. He tried something no one else was willing to try, and I think he would have had a genuine chance. There's contact between him and Xavier Sanchez. I think he would have had a genuine chance. So for me, I think Alex Everett will get the performance of the race. So that's what I'm going to go for. Close between him and Koppinen. But yeah, I'm going to indeed give it to Alex Everett. He started P13. He's going to finish P11. But ultimately, he tried something different, and it just didn't work out. By the way, there were 69 laps in this race for the leaders. Nice. So there we go. What a race it was. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the MOBIUZ Challenger Cup Season 5. I think it's been an absolute blast, ladies and gentlemen. So we're just waiting for the results to pop in. And once we've got the results, we are good. But while we do indeed wait for the results, let's check in with The company that have made this all possible. Type MOBIUZ in the chat, guys. MOBIUZ. And check out what they have to offer. So Jacob Maciejewski is your winner. David Perez in second. And Daniel Sedgley does finish in third. Ridiculous race. Absolutely ridiculous race. And well, we are giving Alex Everett the performance of the day. So just waiting for the results to come in officially, and then we are good to indeed go. What can they win? Well, the prizes that can be won today. First position will indeed win themselves a set of triples, basically. Set of triples monitors, MOBIUZ EX3210R. We've then got second place, 1x MOBIUZ EX3415R Curve Sim Racing Monitor. Third place is 1x MOBIUZ EX3210R Curved Gaming Monitor for performance of the finals. 1x MOBIUZ EX3110R Curved Gaming Monitor. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time to see the official race results. So here's your final results. Here's your final results then. Jacob Maciejewski, P1. We've then got David Perez in P2. Daniel Sedgley, P3. Nacho Gaspar, P4. Xavier Sanchez, P5. Yanni Koppinen, 6th. Dominic Plona is in 7th. Alex Everett in 8th. Patrick Verboe in 9th. And then rounding out your top 10 is Matthias Kolomansky. So they win your prizes, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you have indeed enjoyed that today. It was being an absolute worldie of a race. Make sure you do indeed watch it back. And also on your way out, make sure you type MOBIUZ and you hit that follow button. I've been Luke Crane, aka Actual Vision, and this has been the MOBIUZ Challenger Cup Season number 5.